So next we would like to look at the basics of coloring. Okay, how to color our footage and make it look a little bit better from what we have over here, for example. So assuming I want to color this, all I need to do is to select this clip, and I can come all the way to the windows over here and make sure lumetri color is selected. So something like this, lumetri color, you can just make sure it is selected, and you can see the properties down here. Okay, so this is basic color correction, and what usually happens is color correction is just to bring back the image to the exact look that it's supposed to be. Okay, how the image is naturally, that's how it's going to be. That's how you are going to bring it back. So that's color correction. So when you correct it, it means you are taking it back to the normal one. Okay, the normal looks, just like the natural look. So what I usually do is I just come all the way, select the image and go to lumetri color, and I can just come over here. So I used to have the lumetri scopes also enabled. So I used to enable the lumetri scopes. Okay, so because the lumetri scopes is what gives you the idea of what you are working on, because just by mere tweaking on the settings, you will not have a clear understanding on how your color is being affected by your actions. Okay, so but the lumetri scopes is going to help you to have an idea. Usually it's ranging between this minimum, which is the 10 between 10 and 90. That's the best part to take back the image to natural look. Okay, so make sure the colors are distributed and it falls within this range, and between 10 and 90. Anything above 90 is going to be clipping and it's going to affect your image. So the basic corrections that we're going to do, sometimes I don't even have to worry about what I am tweaking. I just have to worry about what is showing over here. I just want to keep it at 10 and 90 and then play around with the settings, knowing that it is at 10 and 90. So we'll start with the basic correction over here, which is the most basic thing. So you can see the key features over here, the exposure, the contrast, the highlights, and so on. So once you just start with the exposure, you can see when you increase the exposure, this is what happens, and when you decrease the exposure, this is what happens. So you just try to bring it back to maybe at least this 90 at the top, and then you can calm down and increase the contrast, play around with the contrast and see what you can. But just don't worry about what is happening here. Just be paying attention to what is happening here, so that you can just have the settings stay at 90. And then your blacks, you can come down to your blacks and whites. For example, you can increase the white a little bit. You can just play around with it a little bit to stay at 90. Come down to your blacks and you can up it to stay at 10. Okay, so this profile should not go below 10. Okay, so this is correction. Don't worry about what is happening here as well. Just make sure you set everything between 90 and 10. So everything is now going back to normal, how it was when you started. So you can play around with the shadow effects. You can just tweak it a little bit to have just a little bit of it. Okay, so this is basic color correction. If you like, you can play around with the temperature over here, but I don't do that. So at any given point, this is the correction we have made a little bit, but this is the before and this is the after. Okay, we'll put in some little correction. So later on, you can see how to do color grading. So in color grading, what I usually do is I have to introduce an adjustment layer. So once you're done with color correction, you make sure everything, the profile is at this point. So this is corrected. This is at exactly the way it was when we started. So you can decide to play around with the exposure a little bit. All right. So and then you can reduce the contrast a little. So once you have everything set over here, you can now go to the color grading. Or in color grading, I use adjustment layer. So you just right click in the project bin and just come to new item over here, and you can see adjustment layer. So once you click on adjustment layer, you make sure you have this height and this frame rate. Okay, so you just say okay, and you have it over here. So all you need to do is to drag the adjustment layer and put it on the top of on your timeline. So you can just easily select it and then drag it across the clip that you want to edit. So this is where the magic happens. Now previously you worked on the clip directly. Now you want to work on the adjustment layer. So whatever you have is just on the adjustment layer. You can easily delete it and put in another one, or you can easily select it and edit accordingly. So on the adjustment layer, you can do a lot of things, but what I usually do is I usually bring down my blacks. Okay, I bring down my black so it pops out a little bit, just like so. So don't worry about it over here. Just be mindful about what is happening here. Now you are focusing on the beauty, so don't worry about what is happening here. When you concentrate on what is happening on the lumetri scopes is when you are doing the color correction. So now you can just up your white a little bit. Okay, and then you can just a little bit increase your highlights so you pop out a little bit, so you can see your blacks, you can see your hair and so on, and the black keyboard and anything black around you is now fully fixed. So you can see if you are exposed a lot, you also control the exposure from here and just bring it down a little bit. Okay, so another thing I usually do is I go to creatives and I just increase the sharpness of the video. You can see just increase the sharpness a little bit and then increase the vibrance also. Okay, and just increase the vibrance a little and then the saturation. Okay, so I think you can see the effects now. Everything is popping out. The tints I don't touch much of these. Sometimes I go to the RGB curves, and usually I create 3 different points, 1 and 2 points. Okay, and I try to tweak it. When you go up, it means you are increasing the highlights. Okay, you are increasing the lightness, and if you come down a little bit, you are decreasing the brightness. So you can just tweak it a little bit to give the little S shape that can give you that very fantastic look. So this is the white balance. You can check the red balance. Also, you can tweak it accordingly, depending on the green balance. You can tweak it accordingly, or the blue balance. You can tweak all this because this is RGB coloration. You can enable or disable it. You can see the effect. Okay, you can see the basic difference with and without. This is without and with. Okay, you can see the basic difference. It gives us that popping up and the cinematic look a little bit. I don't go too much into hue and saturation. I don't do much on this. All I do is just these basic ones. And if you are certain and you enjoy or you like what you have over here in terms of the color correction and color grading, you can just save everything as a preset, so you can easily refer back to it at any given point. You can see the entire coloration that you have done before and after. Okay, before and after, so you can see the difference. And another thing I want to share with us is there are LUTs. Okay, LUTs is just a preset that other people have used on their videos, and it kind of pops out and make the coloration looks fantastic. So it's just like preset someone used and saved it on his own. So if you want to save your own preset as well, all the settings you have, you can just come all the way down here and you can see save as preset, and it's going to save this as your own preset. So you can just save it by, for example, I say my color preset, and I can just save this. And anytime I want to color another video again, I don't have to follow the same process, go to the basic correction, but go to the creatives and add the adjustment layer. I just need to just add the adjustment layer and just drag and just add the preset directly. Once I come over here, you can see browse presets, and once you browse preset, you can easily add it. Now, one thing I want to share with us is the use of LUTs. LUTs are very, very fantastic presets that other people have used, and they found it very useful, and it helps in their audio, in their video. You can easily add it. So depending if you want to use LUTs, it's also good. You can just easily select a given LUT and just drag and drop on your image. You can just apply a given LUT, and you can see it changes the looks. You can apply depending. You can just keep navigating around and see how it changes or how it affects your video. If it is if the color is okay for you, then you can leave it. If it is sometimes when you apply a LUT, you can also come over here and tweak it a little bit and tweak the settings so that you can get what you want. But the LUT sometimes help a lot. But you can also save your own as your own LUT, just like we have saved the one I've just shown clearly. But at this point, I would like to put it to none because I don't want to use any LUT over here. So this is what I have, and this is what I want. Okay, so this is basically how to do color correction and color grading so that the video quality can pop out a little bit, and it will just you just sound you just look kind of professional in the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.